G'day everybody, how are you all out there in YouTube land? It's Seano here again, and today we're going to be doing our round 14 live chat. So welcome to chat out there. I hope you're all doing very well. Obviously, we will do our feature your team live like we do every week. And yeah, if you want to say hello in chat, and well, guess we will get on with it. Oh, but before we do, got to do the usual things. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Please hit that sub button. There should be a button down below. You could even just click on that. Like the video if you like the video. And if you're watching this in the future, leave me a comment. And last thing, don't forget to join my Discord if you would like me to put your team up on the screen today and we can have a bit of a chat about it. Yeah, we can do that. Just pop it in where it says post my team here in the Discord, and I'll leave a link down below in chat. I'll pin it to the top. So with the Discord link, not the discount link, the Discord link, and yeah, you can pop your team in there. G'day, Lanzy. How are you today, buddy? I see you put your team in already, so we'll definitely get to your team for sure, mate. As usual, we will have a little bit of a chat about what I'm doing this week. These are my trades that I'm doing this week. I've got Ash, Durham, and Pajaski coming in, or the Mitch Pod, and out goes Lindsay, Anderson, and Philippou. Now, I'm breaking a lot of rules here, crew, as usual. It's the old do what I say and not what I do, Seano speech, where I'm bringing in two players coming in on their buys, or one's actually on their buy this week, but I'll kind of explain the craziness. The reason I'm bringing in Durham this week and not waiting on him, if I had more trades and more money, I'd definitely be waiting on him and seeing if he's going to do the same. But I've got Philippou, who's going to lose quite a bit of money, and Durham will go up some money if he gets a decent score. So potentially by not doing it this week, I could lose as much as 40k. So that's why I'm doing it this week. And Mitch Pod, I'm getting him in at the moment, probably unless the guy from Melbourne is named Joel Fitzgerald, or the guy from Essendon is named what's his name? I know it, but I forget it. The Essendon 99k rookie. If either of those guys are named because they play this week, I might get them. But the reason I'm getting the pod is because I believe he has very good job security. Because they need him in that Collingwood team, and I don't think he's going to be dropped. I'm even more interested in him than there has been another 99k rookie being named for Port Adelaide, but I have no idea what his job security is like. We've seen what's happened with Watkins and Lai and those type of guys. They do like to move them around a little bit. He's a 185 centimeter big-bodied midfielder, so I'll wait to have a couple of looks at him before I decide if I want to bring him in and see what his job security is like, even though Mr. Pod is on the bye this week. And, I assume that he'll be straight back in the team next week. And unfortunately, I can't do these trades without getting a 99k rookie. So I think I would definitely not advise this for other people out in the community. It just suits my particular situation. And I think we need to talk about this a little bit. We can move on and have a look at the team a little bit, how it looks this week. At this time of the season, no matter what myself or other content creators are saying, you have to do what's right for your team and your situation. And if you look at my situation, it's not a good situation. After these, I only have 6 trades and I've got 98k in the bank. So you're saying, Seano, why wouldn't you be better off getting a Touk Miller or a Zach Bailey or something? I probably would. And I probably trust that their role is more consistent than what I know Durham to be. But I need that money and I don't have many trades left. So I'm in the bargain basement. I'm going the bargain basement. If Durham works out, great. And if he doesn't, well, I've got nothing to lose as far as I'm concerned. I get someone who could potentially put up forward line premium scores for 365k. So for me, I've got nothing to lose. If you were right up the top or have quite a few trades and some money in the bank, I don't think I'd be taking the risk on Durham or Pod this week. I'll be waiting on both of them until they've completed their buys, and then having another look at them then. So Pod, I'd wait to next week, and Durham, I would let him play this week, see if he holds his role, and then has a buy and then comes back after the week after, even though it still might not give you much clarity on what his role is in one more week, and then the buy, the magnets could still get thrown around there. But looking at his CBAs, I did a bit of a deep dive into his CBAs. Even once Caldwell comes back, he could be okay, but he's also got Caldwell, Parrish, and Sharp to come in there. So I still think he will get CBAs, but will it be as many as he's been getting over the last few weeks? But for me, at 365k, I cannot refuse that price because I am very poor when it comes to my team. Lansy says he's doing similar trades to me. Yeah, Philippu's got to go. So if Philippu had scored a 80 this week, maybe I could have waited on Durham. But the fact that Philippu's going to lose, like I could potentially lose 40k if I'm over both of them. So Philippu, I did predict Philippu was going to go down. If you were with us for the last, I didn't say he was going to get a 20, but I said he could easily drop a 60 or something. So if he gets a 56, which was seen as quite possible with the NAS back in the team, he's going to lose 25k. And if he loses 25, and Durham gets will be conservative, if we can. Oh, nope, doesn't like it. Supercoach just died. See if we can bring it back up. Not going to be a great time if Supercoach dies and right in the time when we were trying to talk about it. Hey, David Hicks, how are you? We'll have a chat while Supercoach thinks about what it wants to do. I do have, I guess we can move. I can still show you. Will it let me do this? This is my game day matchup this week. As we know, I'm big into my leagues. He hasn't adjusted his team yet. I think it's going to be another close match. I think he's got one more premium off than I do this week, but he's also got a few more like rookies and stuff from this week. So we're both hit pretty bad this week. You come back. There we go. So yeah, Philippu, as we were discussing, we were going to look at season stats. So he was down 25, and we wanted to look at how much Durham could go up. Durham 78. So let's say give him a conservative 90. Let's just say he gets a 90. He'll still go down. He'll go down if he gets a 90. He's got his break even. No, he's got a break even of 78. Thank you, Mr. Computer. So if he gets a 90, he will not be going down. He'll be going up. Project up 5k. So potentially I could lose about 30k if I waited a week to do my trades, which is why I'm doing them this week. And like I said, the only one that may change if Joel Fitzgerald or Archer, I know his name, I just can't bring it to my brain. I know his name, but I just can't bring it to my brain. I've been writing it down and using it all week, and it's just missing me. Artemis, that's right, Jackson Artemis. If either of those guys come in, I believe that they will probably have, especially Artemis, I think will have a good job security. So maybe I'll get him in so I have an extra player this week, and I'll get the pod next week. That will leave me with 6 trades and 98k. Now, whether I burn another 2 trades next week to do another crazy maneuver with something, I've already looked at a crazy maneuver potentially for next week, which would be to go someone like another 99k dude, maybe for Edwards in the back line, getting Artemis and taking Rashenko up to whoever I could afford. And the only person I could see who I could afford is extremely risky would be the man by the name of Will Day, who's about 48k and on his buy this week, 480k. So that would be very risky because his body's pretty much held together with sticky tape and glue. But but he is potentially a good scorer. So that would be high risk. But with my team, you know, not much more could go wrong. It's not like I could plummet down, too much further. Well, I probably can, but I don't expect to lose some overall spaces because I'm playing for leagues. But yeah, at least then I would have basically 22 semi premiums, or I'd call it a completed team. No official rookies on the field. I'd still have some like I'd still have like a Murdoch in the team, which wouldn't be, I wouldn't be loving. And and then this last spot would be the BA Sharp or a Hall Kahan or a Ison or a Joel Fitzgerald, if it's in that position. So that's what I'm thinking with my team. I certainly don't recommend it for anybody out there. I had someone put in chat, hey, Shorto, you tell us not to trade in people in your trade-in chats coming into the buy, yet you've done it. Yes, I keep on doing it. I keep on telling you guys not to do it, and I keep on doing it myself. But I think it is very team dependent. Like the way I just explained it to you guys, I need the money desperately, and not going early on these guys for me could be basically a 30K loss. And when you are short of primos like I am, and you have bugger all money in the bank, that's what makes it a little bit tricky. Landsey says he's got 10 trades left after this week. After this week, that's good, mate. Still have 3 boosts for some reason. Well, the good thing is, mate, you've got a reasonable amount of trades and you've got boosts. So, if you do find a week, maybe, Joel Fitzgerald and Artemis and, and Pod all come available next week, and you want them all and you want to do an upgrade list, you can do it. You have the options. I really regretted not having a trade, not a boost, not coming into the finals. Into the buy rounds. Rank out again. Yeah, that hurts another week. You've held Sarong and Rank like for a month now. That's punishing, isn't it, mate? They keep the old injury lists aren't very correct these days, are they? They don't give you a really good idea of what's going on. And for me, last thing it's not really Supercoach relevant, but they were saying that my mate down here at the Eagles, Jimby, was going to be out for the whole season, and now they're like he's wandering around and he's not too bad. It's like, what the F? What's going on? What is going on, It's like, what is going on with these, like, injury reports? Yes, not great at all. Not great. So yeah, that's what's going on with my team. If potentially, like I said, potentially no trades next week, or potentially I go, I think I'll probably wait and try and let Edwards max out his cash, and hopefully that means Artemis comes in, or the same if Joel Fitzgerald comes in. I'll probably try and let Rashenko make a little bit more money. I need to get as much money out of either Edwards or Rashenko, these 2 guys, as possible, because they're most likely going to be the guys that's going to be traded out for 99K rookies. And or Rashenko is going to be the guy who I put the money on. More likely that's what's happening, that Will Edwards goes down to a 99K and Rashenko goes up to whoever I could afford. So if we look how much money that's going to give me, I've got 98K in the bank at the moment. If Will Edwards is predicted to be, say we did it next week, if he gets a 54, he goes up 10K, gets 230. So that gives me another 130K on top of the basic, we'll just call it 100 that I've got. So I've got 230K. So, and Rashenko is predicted to go up by 17K. So he'll be 310. So 310 plus another 230, we said. 230. So 540. Who could we get for 540? So 540K. We'll do 550 in case they come down in price. And we want a midfielder. What midfielder can we get for 500 and that around that price? So we could potentially get. We won't be getting Zach Merritt because he'll be on his bye next week. We wouldn't get Lockie Neal because he's on his bye, but we could wait a week and get either of them. Shees will know. We got Dacos. LDU, if LDU came down, I think he would have to come down a little bit more money. All the players would have to do better than what we predicted there. Maybe him. I would really like Richards, but I wouldn't buy him coming into his buy. Maybe Clayton Oliver is one that I might be able to afford. I could afford a Jack Steele. Jack Steele's come way down to 460, so he hasn't had the best run, though, like he did at the beginning of the season, has he? Or the best scores. Started the season on fire. He only cracked 100 in his last, 6 games. So probably not the man for me. Got Finn Callahan already. So there's not a lot of guys or girls there I want. That's why, that's why I'm tempted to do the old take the real risk. I think this is super risky, and I wouldn't be doing this if I was playing for, if I was anywhere near up the top or I was worried about my team getting worse, which I'm not. But Will Day only played 64% time on field, I believe, and got both weeks. So he's kind of just warming back into it. Yep, so 62% and 67% in the last couple of weeks, time on ground. First week, he only had 47% CBAs. They gave him 72% last week for a score of 122. So we know what he can do. Kicks and handballs. He had 11 contested possessions, 5 marks, 8 tackles. He's a very good player. He's just held together with sticky tape. Dawson looks awesome, but I can't afford him. I don't think, if I could get to this is the other question I've got to ask myself. I could go cheap with Will Day and then potentially have a 23rd primo or a 20. I could put some money on top of Murdoch to get a Tuke Miller or a Zach Bailey or something to make the 22 players more solid. Or I could just save maybe a little bit more money, maybe do another 99k rookie down and go straight up to one of the really big dogs like a Bailey Smith or a who's the other one I don't have? The 2 big midfielders, Bailey Smith and Isaac Heaney, who I don't have. Do I take the risk with do I just risk it with Will Day and say pray that he doesn't get injured? Or do I get myself a 23rd primo, or do I go 22 primos, but that 22nd primo is a really big dog like a Bailey Smith? Trying to get Smith as your last trade. Yeah, with 10 trades, Lansy, I would probably be doing the same for you. Since you're here, let's have a look at your team, mate. We're having a chat with you, and I know your team is in chat. Now, if you joined us last week, crew, you might remember we had Mr. Chris join us, Petro. His season ranked was 4. I checked his team just before we came on stream. He went up 1 rank to 3. So, and he's only about 50 or 60 points behind. If we have a look at him, Petro, he's only exactly 40 points behind number 1. So well done to him this week, and good luck again coming up, Chris. I really hope you can jump up some more spots. You are in such a good position to push for that 50k. So we did it night. We did the last stream at night, as you guys and girls know. If you join me every week for Thursday, 1 week will be in the evening after the Thursday game, and 1 week will be in the morning or around lunchtime, which is today due to my work schedule. So, obviously, the ones after the game are usually a bit more popular, but I appreciate anybody who's dropping by at any time. But yeah, very well done to Chris and his team, Petro. Good luck this week, mate. I hope you keep rising up those ranks. Do we want to have a quick look at his team while we're here, just in case you missed it last week? Sinclair, Dale, Holmes, Whitfield, Roberts, and Clark. Smith, Butters, Heaney, Bont, Dave, LDU, Merritt, Dacos, and Rao, Grundy and Gorn, Sheasel, McKercher, Philippou, Burdock, Banfield, Alga, and Jackson. And this just shows that you didn't need a good midfield to be right up the top. Like we said last week, he played Supercoach the correct way. You stack the backs and the mids, and you worry about the forwards to last, which is exactly what he's doing. And as you can see, it's paid off for him. Cool. Where are you, my friend Lansy? We'll go and do you now. Here you go. In Sherry, Pods, and Fitzgerald, out Philippou, Anderson, and Scary. Are you still doing that, mate? Number 3. It's impressive, isn't it? It's very nice for him to drop along, and he was very candid about his plans and what he was doing, which was very nice of Chris to do that for the stream last week. And hopefully, if he doesn't turn up again today, that he'll turn up next Thursday when we do the late night stream. Let's have a look, buddy. Ranked 16,000, so you're still doing fine. Your top 10%, I think that's fine. That's what I aim for most years. Sinclair, Holmes, Whitfield, Roberts, Clark, and you'll have Houston when he comes back. With the good old Dirksen and Harry Oliver on the field, on the bench. So Heaney, Butters, Bont, Merritt, Callahan, Burton, HK, Fitzgerald, Dacos, Sarong, and Ison. Yeah, so you've got, like I talked about, you'll have Heaney and Baz, which I think are the two gun mids that I'm missing and probably can't afford. That as long as they go, if they keep up the current form, if you're going to move up the ranks in the second half of the season, you probably want both of those guys. You've got Grundy, Gorn, Sherry, other 99 Ks. There is a Port Adelaide guy named Lansy. Did you know that? Port Adelaide 99K rookie. All I know is he's a 185 centimetre big-bodied midfielder. His name is the exact same as another name in Port Adelaide, which makes it difficult. Mid Port Adelaide. I'm pretty sure it's Barrett as well, but it's not Benny Barrett. Why can't I see it? Xavier Barrett. This guy, 99K, name to play. Mid only, but what's his job security? We know there's been a lot of movement around there on the at Bamber, not quite the same as the other dude who's Barrett. I thought they were the same, but they are not. So his name, but I don't know anything about his job security, which is why I'm still going with the pod over him, just because I think he has a really good job security. And we've seen what's happened to Watkins and Lai and stuff this week, and I think Lai is injured and could come back, so he might not be in the team for that long. I'd prefer to pick one of the 99K rookies who I'm pretty sure Mitch Pod will play, a lot of games. He'll play because they need him. And I'm pretty sure if Artemis comes into Essendon, unless he really stinks it up with where Essendon are on the bottom of the ladder, surely they need to play him, and surely they need to play Dyson Sharp as well when Dyson Sharp comes back. Yeah, so the job security is the job security for the Adelaide dude is the biggest. I think you probably still, unless you needed a player on the field, and it doesn't look like you've got too many out on this round. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know. Will Oliver play? Did Oliver play last week, buddy? So you've got at least 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, you already got Fitzgerald. That's 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Banfield probably won't play. Sure, 20. So you got 20. I mean, you only need 18. You got 20. The more, the better. But you've got enough to cover this round, so you're fine. So if Oliver comes back, you got 21. That's great. That's pretty good for this round. I think a lot of people don't. I don't know. I'm pretty bad on this round, so I'm glad I got rid of Houston. And I've got rid of Angry Anderson this week as well. And I think I still have one more than you do. of primos out on this round. I've got Josh Dacos as well as Nick Dacos, which as another one, and Jordan Clark, and I've got Jackson as well. So I'm quite bad on this round, but you look pretty good, mate. You look pretty good. Oliver might come back. Yep. Good morning, Michael. How are you today? Very nice to see you, my friend. Close match there on the weekend, buddy. For us, could have potentially beaten Port with a, kicked straight if we had decided to kick straight in that last quarter instead of like booting it out. Points are out on the full. So yeah, very nice, Lanzy. Very nice. Like it. We'll go back to our friend, the other Michael, not the Michael in chat, but another Michael who chats has got a 2,000 this week. Very nice. And he's moved into the top 10K. So very well done, Michael. I have to admit, Michael showed me his team pre-season and I was a bit worried for him. I was like, a lot of mid prices and stuff. And he just absolutely smashed it. He just shows that it's not your starting team, it's how you trade. And I've gone the opposite down to 60K and he's risen up to the top 10. So well done, Michael. He got a round score of 15-10, so very nice, with a Sinclair, Dale, Holmes, Whitfield, Roberts, and HK. Heaney Smith, again, big mistake from me, not just paying up and getting these guys in, I think. Instead of wasting all my money on these rucks, on the 700K rucks, I could have got Bailey Smith and Heaney in, and I would have been in a much better position. But how was I to know? The rucks were killing it, and ever since I've got them in, they have not been killing it. And I think that's the difference between myself going up ranks and not. Since I've had the three-headed ruck business going on, they've scored bugger all. Where if everybody else had them early, they were scoring 150s each, and I'm lucky to get 100 out of them. Or they even turn up. I'm looking at you, Grundy. Heaney, Smith, Butters, Bont, Merritt, Dacos, Sardis. Would have loved to have kept Sardis. And Rashenko with Anderson, Ison, and Burton on the bench. Grundy and Gorn, nice. And with Jackson, yep, he's one. He's got the 3 there. I don't know how long he's had him, but if he had him long for me, he got the good scores. I just waited to get him in for the shit scores. Sheaves or Petrarca, Horn, Francis, Bailey, Pickett, Banfield with Bolton to come on. So he's got very close to. He's just got these 2 midfielders away from a complete. And this spot here, he's 3 away from a completed team. Blew it with shots for goal in that game. Yeah, they had their opportunity, Michael, and they blew it. That's exactly right. Port Adelaide didn't win it. We lost it. Go you, and Lancy, you're taking a risk with Sherry, but you're going to go for it. Fine. I think 16K. I mean, not a big. If he smashes out of the park, great, and if he doesn't, it's going to hurt. You'll drop a few places, but it might be the difference between you finishing in 20 or 25K or 10K if it works out for you. So I think it's fine taking a risk at this time of the season, as long as I wouldn't be risking too much if I was that ranked number 3 team. But if we ranked in, unless you desperately want to finish like top 15,000 and that's your goal, then I think taking a risk is fine. Sherry, it's going to be interesting. Yes, we know he scored 200 against the Eagles earlier on in the season, but that was against Flynn. I do not think he'll score 200 again this week. As we've seen, they don't like to use him in the centre bounces, and I think Bailey Smith should be able to jump on him in the centre bounces. He should be able to at least compete a lot more. He shouldn't get dominated like he did last year where he scored 1,000,000 points against him. But around the ground, Sherry really should dominate. And so it'll be interesting to see. If he can't score a big score this week, you probably think that he's probably going to not score huge scores for the rest of the season. It'll be very up and down depending on how mobile the rucks are that he's up against. Michael says 21 on field with 16 primos. So fingers crossed this week. How many primos do I have? I don't think I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're counting Murdoch, even though he's not. 9. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. If we take away Murdoch, it's 15 primos. So, and yeah, and we count pretty loose counting Murdoch as a primo, so we probably won't. But we have a fair bit of coverage. I don't think Edwards will play. I don't think Bamfield will play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe we can do this as well. It doesn't matter because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Probably won't play. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I'll probably only have 19 players playing. So only one. If someone gets dropped or injured or whatever, I could be possibly down to 18 this round, which could make it a pretty average round for me. I'm expecting a bad one myself. Michael, you see your trades out are Anderson and Artie Jones in the pod, Ash and LDU. I think it's fine. Like I said, as long as you're in that situation, that kind of like I am, Michael, I think if the pod gets you the ones you like, I guess if you don't get Podding, you don't get Ash and LDU, you can't afford them. So if getting Podding gets you those two guys and you've still got those 21 players on field, like I said, I've only got 19, which I think are actually going to play, unless I get a little bit lucky with some of those Essendon boys. I think that's fine. I think it's fine. And, yep, like I said, I think out of all the 99K rookies, I think the pod has the best job security, and we'll have to. I'm more prepared to wait on the other guys, all the other 99Kers, to see if they stay in the team to their third game, except maybe Artemis for Essendon. I figure when he comes in, he's probably in. But even the Joel Fitzgerald, he might score big, but Melbourne are winning. And do Melbourne change up their team while they're winning? I don't think we will see him this week. Didn't see any mention of it in the. I usually go, like I've said before, I'll go to one of the really good ways to tell whether there's going to be a guy, who you're waiting on. You go to the actual club site, and they're all up top here of the AFL, and it will usually say, new rookie being trialed. That usually comes up, especially if it's a big deal like a 99K rookie mid-season draft. They'll normally say, hey, he's on the list, he's going to play, but they're not saying that, so I don't think he will play this week. Yep, so Michael, I think those are very good trades. Ash and LDU, 2 guns. If I could get I looked into doing those exact same trades myself, but I just couldn't afford it, and I figure I need that 99K for my next upgrade. So, yep, but having those 2 players, getting those 2 guns who both had their buys, I think it's a brilliant trade. Landsy, yeah, you're just going for league at the moment as well. Cool. That's why you've held Sarong and Rank for so long. But yeah, Sherry has West Coast, Richmond, Port, and the next 4, which is juicy. It's juicy if, Rich will have Nank back. You would think they're saying that Nank is very close, so it might not be as crush them as bad as what he would. But I think Sherry probably lines up against Nank better than he lines up against some of these really mobile jumping rucks. So I think he still will score well there. West Coast, I think it'll be interesting. I think he has the potential to go big, but it could also, not be as big as what it has been in the past. And Port Essendon, yeah, even though they're the ruck killers, I'm pretty sure that sooner or later they're going to get opened up. Like this week, I think Max Gaunt, plays them. I think he could destroy them. They say that every week, and every week the ruck has a bad game against them, but I still think sooner or later someone's going to hurt them. And then Port with when he's got Sweep. So I think it could be. I think it could work out really well. If it works out well for you, he's at a great price and he could go big. I think you can't go wrong at that price, really. Kawi says you went Nando instead of Rao, which is smart. That's what I recommended for people who had the money last week. If you go back and watch my video, I'm patting myself on the back. I said I liked Dawson and Anderson, and they both, well, Anderson just scored 100, but Dawson did very well. And I said I was more worried about Raul and LDU, and what Seano said actually came true for once. So, as again, like we always say, do what I say and not what I do. If you haven't already liked the crew, looks like we've got 11 people watching, so please go ahead and like the video. Do we have many likes yet? We've only got 3 and we've got 11 people watching, so please go ahead and like. And Cowie, let's have a look at your team vote. So he's trading out Ison and Anderson. Okay. Getting in Dawson and HK. Yeah, that seems reasonable. I mean, he's getting rid of Ison pretty early, but if it gets him Dawson, then I like it. Sinclair, Holmes, Whitfield, Roberts, Blakey, and Clark, a completed back line that looks pretty good except for Clark. Heaney, Smith, he's got the 2 big dogs. I cry every time I see other teams with these 2 guys, and I don't have either of them. Butters, Bont, Dawson, Anderson, LDU, and Dacos. That's a pretty nice looking midfield. HK on the bench. Burton, we probably won't see Burton again, but Sharp almost definitely will come back sooner than later, maybe even this week. Grundy, Jackson, very nice. Sheasel, Petrarca, Pickett, Lombard, Jones, Banfield. Yep, very nice. Just got 2 to 3 upgrades here in the forward line. Kept Lombard, that's made your money and getting you decent scores. Wish I had done that. Yeah, so quite nice. I like it. Got pod for next week. Seems to have plenty coverage for this week as well. Yeah, very nice team, mate. And getting Nando over Rao and getting Dawson in. You got the midfield that, if I could choose a midfield, it'd probably be your midfield, mate. I think the potential for huge scores in your midfield, if they all click on the one round, they could all score 130 plus in a round. So, the potential for massive scores in the, a 3K score or whatever in the second half of the season with this midfield is, doable. It's possible if everything goes right on the right round, as opposed to my midfield where I reckon if everyone goes and does what they're supposed to do, the best I can score is maybe a 2-8. G'day, Cheese. How are you? Hey, Angish. Angish. Still in the cup. Well done, mate. Going well. Worried about Stewart. Yeah, injured. Likely hold. Not playing next weekend. Jason or Francis, Ash, and Fitz are in for Stewart, Jagger, and Ison. Stewart, Jagger, and Ison out, and Jason or Francis, Ash, and Fitzgerald in. Still hanging on to Rochelle, McKercher, and Houston. Yeah, I think that's fine. You're doing what you're supposed to do. Even though, who do you prefer? You're getting rid of Jagger because he's on his bye? I always prefer Jagger than Rochelle in the forward line, to be honest. If I'm kicking myself that I sold Jagger, because I'd be keeping Jagger with the way my team is going. But if you need to get someone off this bye this week, then that is fine. But yeah, I mean, Rochelle's playing, Jagger's not. If you've got a full team playing with a couple of spares, though, I'd be tempted to drop Rochelle before. Just me. You do what you're probably doing a lot better than I am. So you do what you do, you. But yeah, I just think Rochelle is not going to be the player. And McKercher, well, is he going to ever get that roll back? We don't know. He kind of does and he kind of doesn't, depending on what week it is. But at least he's got DPP and everything. So, yep, that's what I would think. Anyway, that's what I would do. And Houston, I totally understand getting rid of Houston. I did it a couple of weeks ago for Grundy, even though Grundy hasn't been fantastic. I'm just happy that I don't have to look at Houston, especially this week. Cheese, just need a D6 and all done for the year. Also thinking of doing a luxury trade of Toby Green or Kirch to Petrarca to finish off the team. If Petrarca drops a bit, teams are rubbish anyway, so he might save trades. I'm with you, mate. I'm with you. So he's got Wanganeen, Malera, Holmes, Whitfield, Ash, Clark. Needs a spot here. Heaney, Smith, Butters, Bont, Anderson, Richards, LDU, and Dacos. At least he's got a stacked midfield. Like I say, this midfield this will be, it only takes 1 week for all the stars to align once we come out of the buys and all these guys to have a good week. And it just makes a massive score. That's what I'm super afraid of in my team, that I don't have a stacked midfield like this. And I know it's going to hurt me. It's already hurt me, and it's probably going to hurt me again in the future. Sherry and Jackson, nice. He's got Sheasel, Bailey, Pickett, Green, McKercher, Durham, and Neil. Yeah, he does have basically a completed team except for the one D6. Toby Green, I had him for a while last year, didn't love it. So I would think he was if I was going to be making him and McKercher, definitely your luxury trades. Get that back spot sorted by any means necessary with whoever you like. Who would I get? You've got Wanganeen Maliri, you got Holmes, you got Whitfield, you got Clark. Jury's out a little bit on Archie Roberts, but even last week without the ideal role, he still scored 100. So probably Roberts or a Blakey would be the two that I would really think of for that position. Is there anybody else that jumps out and grabs me that I would really be interested in? I think they're the two again which can go 120 plus on a particular day. I mean, maybe Noble if you could afford the 580k, if you could afford that 500k. Mate the Great, how are you? Hey mate the Great. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Yep, so kind of Cheese, good friend of the channel, and he's doing. I mean, this is what my team I feel is going to. He's got the better version of my team. My team is I got the crap in the midfield instead of the crap in the forward line, which is how it's not supposed to be. Jay Uga. Thinking of Dev Rob and Dev Rob. You still got Dev Rob? Nice. And Anderson out to Durham and a 99k rookie. 133k in the bank, but leaning towards holding trades this week as only 11 trades left with 3 spots to fill. Counting Jagger as F6, I think that's fine. If I still had Jagger or was smart enough to keep him, I would also be holding him for F6 until the very last moment. I think he can outscore some of your other forwards, some of the other forwards. Do I think you should hold Decam and Flex or flip to Sherry, Jacko, Baz in the coming weeks, playing for cash leagues, sitting mid-pack in half, the top 4 in the rest? What do I reckon? What do I reckon? I think if you've got decent coverage this week, I think I would wait and look at Sherry. You got Camry coming back next week. If Sherry shits the bed this week and gets another 50 or 60, I'd be a little bit dubious about taking him. And I'd probably look at those leagues that the cash leagues you've got a chance of winning, the ones where you're, like you said, you're in the top 4. Have a look if they've got Sherry. If they have him, don't get him. If they've got him, so if they don't have him, get him. And that way you can got a better chance of winning against them by having a top team slightly different, And this week, if you're going to get him, you might as well get him this week, I guess, because Cameron is going to be off his bye or on his bye. And so, but Cameron's been, I know he had that crap score, but he hasn't been terrible. He just had that one terrible score. So if that makes sense, I think he'd still be viable, but I assume your plan was always to get Sherry. But like I said, I would be, if I want to win that cash, I want to do what's different to the teams above me. You've got Sinclair, Holmes, Whitfield, Roberts, Worrell, and Clark. That's fine. Butters, Bont, Anderson, Davies, LDU, Merritt, Dacos, Finn, Callahan, and Anderson. Grundy, Gorn, Sheasel, Petrarca, Horn, Francis, Smith, Lombard, Banfield, Cameron. I guess your question was, should you get an Isaac Heaney or a Bailey Smith instead of Sherry? At the moment, I'm probably saying yes. those it a normal and most other midfielders are no, but current form says that Isaac Heaney and Bailey Smith are going to be more consistent than Sherry, and yeah, and can score better as well as much as, if not better. Sherry can get you a massive score, but those other guys may be a little bit more consistent in their big scores. Um, Sherry's a really weird one. I really don't know, what's going on with him. So it's hard to pick. Yeah, it's hard to pick. But at the moment, if I had to have a choice, I'd probably be getting the Bailey Smiths and the Isaac Heaney's, filling out my midfield completely, and I'd be waiting. At least, DCAM can still get a good score. He can still get you 100. What, he got 130 or whatever a couple of weeks back. I'd be getting this Anderson or Anderson or Rashenko up to the best possible midfielder you could get. What other trades did you say you were doing? You said you were doing towards holding trades this week. Holding, if it suits. I mean, you've got 11 trades and you got 100K in the bank. I think it's fine to hold trades this week, to be honest, and then look at the 99K rookies. Next week you get another look at Sherry. Rashenko is going to go up in money. The Anderson's not going to play, so you're not losing any money there. Ison is not playing, you're not losing any money. I think it's fine. I think you're actually in a decent position to hold trades this week. You've got a boost, so if you want to, you don't have to worry so much. If you only had 3 trades, I'd say maybe you could do Robertson down this week to the pod, but you can have a wait. He's on his bye. You can have another look at him. You can also, if you wanted to pick up, one of these, if someone, I don't think you need to trade. I think you can hold your trades this week. Maximize your cash. Maximize the Rashenko cash and maximize the, whoever else you've got who might actually be making you some cash, and then get the best possible midfielder you can, I would think, and then worry about trying to get one more forward position, and then make your last trade. This forward will be your last trade. But yeah, get Lombard or Anderson or Rashenko up ASAP, but it doesn't have to be this week. So I think with 11 trades, I think holding this week is totally fine, mate. Kales, how are you today, my good friend? I hope you're doing well. You're saying out is a Brune the poo. Wasn't the poo a big load of poo last week? And Seano predicted it, and it came true. So it's all my fault. In Dawson, Heaney, and Alga. Yeah, this how many trades? You got 11 trades and 168K in the bank afterwards. That's really good. I really like these trades. When you've got a lot of trades, I think it's fine to get Alga this week. Like, if you've got trades of money, like, he's going to be he's going to be down here the forward line. If you're like me and you don't have any trades, well, then you're getting the pod, because he might be your last rookie that I get. But if I've got, so you must have had like 14 trades or something, you can get Alga this week, or the other rookie, the Kyle guy from Sydney, and then you can pick up pod in a couple of weeks' time, or you can pick up, Aramis or Joel Fitzgerald in a couple of weeks' time when they are in their bias, like you're supposed to play the game, because you've got enough trades to do that. So I like your team. Noble, you got Noble who's killing it, so that's awesome. Sinclair, Holmes, Wilmot, Blakey, and Wilkie. This is a nice bit of a potty back line with Noble and Wilmot, so you could definitely start gaining places, mate. Heaney and Baz, you've got the two big dogs, which again, like we talked about, can really make your midfield go off. Butters, Bont, Dawson. You've got the useless fireman, a chocolate fireman, not a useless fireman. Firemen are very useful, but not if they're made out of chocolate, where it becomes very unuseful. So that's why he is a chocolate fireman. And you've got Sardis scoring well with one spot, which is probably needs to get filled as soon as oh no, you got Dacos goes back there, so you got pretty much a completed midfield. If you call with Sardis, if you call Walsh a completed midfield, Gorn and Sherry, Sheasel, Petrarca, Murdoch, Lombard, Heaney, Banfield. You got Reed out this week. Yep, very nice, mate. I think it's good. You got Dawson and Heaney in this week, and yeah, I really like those trades. Bruin, Pooh, and Butterick out. Three pretty guys doing pretty average. Bruin got you the money. Pooh's gonna get rid of money, and Butterick hasn't really got that role that he had before. And you're getting in two guns and a rookie that, even though he's a little bit more expensive than 99k, is going to play. I would say he's gonna play, and you can, like, in a couple of weeks' time, you can get the pod for Henry or Banfield, and that way make yourself some money. Hopefully, Liam Henry or Banfield come back and play a game, or two, and then you can maximize that 99k rookie money. So I kind of like it, mate. I do like it. Mate the Great, this is your team, buddy. We got a question. It's Mano. How you going, Mano? Would you go Philippou, Anderson for Hugo and Heaney with 10 trades left after that, or beforehand? Or Philippou, Murdoch, Anderson for Finn, Took, and Hugo with 9 trades? Oh, yep. So 10 trades left or 9 trades left. This is it, isn't it, Mano? This is kind of, I think it's a tricky one, and I'm not sure what to tell you, to be honest. I'm looking at my team, and I wish I have the Heenies or the Bazzers in my team, to be honest. But you're supposed to play. This is so. In past, you're supposed to play Supercoach the second way, where you get Finn and Took, and you're getting two primos who, in combined, are supposed to score more than Heaney, in theory. But this year, every time I do that, the two potential primos get 70s, and the Heaney guy gets 150 or 200 or whatever. So I'm thinking maybe do we have your, I don't have your team to look at. It also going to depends if how filled out does that make your team. I think Took is still one of the better forward line guys. And Finn, if Finn is your last midfielder, and that doesn't leave you any space to get Heaney in the future, then maybe not. But if Finn is like your D7, and that gives you space to, get in Heaney in the future, maybe getting Took and Finn this round, and still having 9 trades is fine. Is going to be fine, and then that's enough trades where you can do a couple of downgrades and pick up Heaney in the future. But I don't mind either. And it depends kind of again what you're playing for. If you're playing for your leagues, maybe the top one, maybe the Heaney and Philip, the Heaney one, and then you got an extra trade in the bag, because trades are very, very important when you're playing for leagues. If you're going for overall score, maybe getting 2 potential primos in your team now is better than only getting the one. Sorry, it wasn't very much help there. I kind of like them both. I think it's do what you feel, do what you feel is best. Mates, you got McCluggage and Murdoch out for Smith and Lake in. I have to admit, buddy, I'm not a big fan of Lake. I just feel like his job security is very, very shaky. So, mate, if if you're quite happy to have a 0 on your bench and you want him straight up for your flexibility, okay, but do be prepared. Like everyone told me, I said on this stream last week, I don't think, I was worried about Bamfield getting dropped, and everyone told me that he wouldn't get dropped, or all the St Kilda supporters said, no, he's good, they like him, the coach likes him and everything. And I was like, okay, well, maybe he won't get dropped, and he got dropped. So I'm worried about the exact same thing about Lake. Even if he gets named this week, they've got Higgins to come back into that team. I know he's got that DPP, which I like, but that's why, yeah, I don't love it. I don't love it, but you've already got the pod in your team anyway, so you can't go pod instead of him. There is the Port Adelaide rookie, but I don't think I don't know about his job security either. So yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one. If Joel Fitzgerald was named, or Jackson Artemis was named, I'd probably go them over Campbell Lake. But if you're just happy to have a 0 with a DPP option on your bench, then I guess it's okay. It does get you Bailey Smith though, so getting one of the absolute big dogs in the way of Bailey Smith is pretty sweet. Not that there he is, yep. So you got a big dog midfield except for Walsh when it comes back in. So, and you've still got Ison as playing. Burton's not playing, but Ison's playing, and you've got Rashenko to give you cover as well and still making you money. So in that way, I think it could be fine. And I think Mitch Pott is going to be good cover over the next, hopefully, coming up. I think it's fine. But but just as long as you're prepared to cop that 0. Okay, McHale's, no worries. For round 16 buys, yeah, there might be a little bit of planning on. I have to admit now, my team is not too bad. WCE Rule, you still in chat, buddy? G'day, Darren. Darren in for Philippou, I think is awesome. This is exactly what I talked about earlier, Darren, because a lot of people will say, oh, it's better to wait on Durham. And I say, well, potentially it's a 30K turnaround. So if you've got 30K to spare and lots of trades, you can wait on Durham. And you could keep Philippou in your team this week. But the thing is, you're going to lose 30K. Potentially Philippou goes down about 20, 25K, and potentially Durham goes up about 5K. So if you need that money desperately like I do, it's fine. Do it. If you got a stack of trades and a stack of money, then you can afford to wait on Durham, have a look at him, let him do his buy next week. Have a look at him this week, let him do his buy next week, make sure he doesn't get injured, make sure the rolls takes the same. And Philippou, I mean, you could take the 20K hit, but I think getting rid of Philippou is fine. And I think Durham is probably even though slightly risky, has the most upside. And he's the best value. He's the best value, but he is risky because we don't know if he holds his position or not. But so I think that's fine. I would do that, Darren. Not only would I do it, I am doing it. If you haven't seen my trades, if you joined us a bit late, that's pretty much what I'm doing. Ash, Durham, and Pod in for Lindsay, Anderson, and Philippou out. And that's why I'm bringing in Pod this week, as we discussed, not because I like bringing in players on their buy, because I think he's got good job security. And if I don't do it this week, the whole Durham and Philippou situation could cost me 30K, and I need that 30K. And Lindsay as well has that big break even, which in some ways, if Lindsay was named this week, if I knew he was going to keep his role, the kicking and roll, I would be tempted to keep him, even though he would lose some money. and maybe get an extra midfielder, maybe try and get up to, I know I can't afford it, but maybe I could actually get I could I could do that. I could get, instead of getting Ash, I could get a Bailey Smith or a Isaac Heaney this week. But it would mean that that I would be having no money in the bank, and I would also it means I'd have no money in the bank pretty much. And I'm just thinking that I need some money in the bank, and that's why there's 30k. The whole Philippou Durham thing is that needs the Philippou. So let's get onto your team. Oops, we've all of a sudden gone smally small. Holmes after his bye to finish the back line. Sinclair, Dale, Whitfield, Roberts, Ash, and you want Holmes here. That's nice. HK, he might be a decent scorer. I mean, we say this every time, and he's a rookie, so I'm sure he could drop a 40 any day of the week, but he's got the role to get you 70s. Hopefully he will keep giving us 70s. Smith, Butters, Bont, Dacos, Rao, Callahan, Daniels, and Rashenko. So you got Sarong and Walsh here, and Brent Daniels will be in your forward line, I assume. You've gone McAndrew, Flex, LDU, very nice. So you got an extra midfielder, that's good. Sheasel, Petrarca, Williams, Pickett, Murdoch, the pod, and you've got Jagger Smith. Yeah, I think you're set up, mate. I think you're set up. How many trades have you got? You've got nice coverage for injuries. You've got, you've still got Pottleby on the side. You've got Jagger Smith and Murdoch if you wanted to upgrade those at a later date. But for the moment, I just hold them and sit them. Well, 10 left. I think you're in a really good position, Michael. I'd just be, get your homes here, go home. And then even if there's some way you can get HK into the middle and even keep Blamires for the moment until maybe Artemis comes along, because I think that'd be a great move. You'll have Blamires and HK that you could swap for coverage between, the midfield and the back line. Here in the forward line, you've got the pod to cover, plus you've got Brent Daniels to cover. You've got an extra, like, this is kind of good. You can get Brent Daniels can be, you've got like an extra primo. You're going to be able to do a loophole each week, including like a Daniels or a Walsh or something like that. Your team's actually set up in a way that hold your trades for a few weeks, and you might even be able to get rid of a fake primo like a Walsh, go up from a Walsh to a Heaney or something in a couple of weeks' time with a 99k rookie. Your team's actually in a really good position, mate. I wish my team looked half as good as your team. And the same, the McAndrew, you can potentially have another look at Sherry this week, or next, or pick which all the rucks are coming down. If you want a Grundy, if you want a Jackson, if you want a Sherry, you can have a look at them for the next couple of weeks and decide whoever you want for possibly between, 5 and 600k, depending on how much they come down. So I really like your team, mate, and I think you're in a very, very good position. Even though you're ranked 32k, I've got a feeling that you're going to move up the ranks in over the next few weeks, as opposed to someone like me, who I think I'm going to be going in the opposite direction. But you've got lots of coverage, extra players. You can loophole every line. Yeah, I like it a lot. Seano likes it a lot. Seano is very jealous. Very, very jealous of everybody else's team this season. I have to admit. How are we going for likes, crew? If you haven't got 6 likes now, not bad, not bad. If you haven't already liked, and don't forget, if you're watching this in the future, you can still like, and you can still leave a comment down below. You can still put your team in Discord and say, hey, what do you think, Seano? And I'll still answer you. And if you want to know straight away, I'll let you know straight away. Or if you want to know in the future, for the future stream for next Thursday, like we said, which will be in the evening, crew. If you're here with me now, next week's will be in the evening, straight after the football. No worries, Michael. No worries, like I said, well done, mate. And good luck to our Eagle boys this weekend against North. As usual, I like to use a bit of reverse psychology and say I don't think we're going to win. And that way, when we win, I'm happy. Yeah, this is. They're not like for like, hey, Michael, but they might move the magnets around on the other dudes to. So I think there's a chance that Lindsay comes back, and I also think there's a chance that he doesn't come back. So because they need a tall, they need a big guy defender. They need a big defender, but maybe they just let somebody else. Do they bring in someone like Brock who's not playing, or do they just swing like Starcevic or someone to one of the other tall guys? I think we're going to be. It's the good thing is that they said he was going to be out for the season, and now apparently he's up walking around and doing a lot better. So maybe we get him back this season, which could be good because I think without him in the team, we could really hurt. And it could be the difference between us winning games and not winning games, not having Jimby in the team. So I think this week against North, I think North will be pretty angry after last week against Freo. I think they're going to come out firing. So I think it could be a tough game for the Eagles. But as long as they're competitive like they were the last week, I'll be pretty happy. Anybody else want me to have a look at their team and put their team up on screen? You could always pop it in chat if you don't have a Discord, and we can do it that way. I do prefer if you put it in Discord because we get to see it and you can tell me your trades and write it all down, but we can go and have a look in this way. Should we have a look at old Petro? We had a look at him. I know he's not here this week, but it was really nice for him to drop by Chris last week and have a chat to us, and I really hope he does well. And the fact he moved up a spot this week means that, he did very well. And isn't it, like, look at this team, crew. Look at this team and compare it to your team. Is it that much different? And this is why I know that I'm not going to move up in the ranks too much. Now, it is a bit different from my team, but it's not a lot different from a lot of you guys out there and girls that teams I've been looking at. So Sinclair, Dale, Holmes, Whitfield, Roberts, Clark. This is pretty standard. Dale is probably the only slightly potty pick here, owned in 9% of teams, but obviously doing very well. Then the forward line, he's got the two big dogs. Like a lot of teams we looked at today have these two same big dogs. Heaney, Smith, Butters, Bont. Most people have Butters and Bont. A lot of people have LDU now. Merritt and Dacos there. Does he have a... Who is he? Oh, his flexes I'm pretty sure is Jackson, to be honest. So he still doesn't have a full midfield here. Grundy, Gorn, Sheasel, Petrarca, Miller. So he's got three big dogs here, but then he's got McKercher, McKenna, Alga. He doesn't have a full, he's not full team. He doesn't have a full team, and he's still third. Gives us hope, right? It just shows, but it also at the same time it means that if your team looks a lot like his team, you're not going up too many spots. You're going to need, because a lot of good teams have a very similar team. I think there are a lot of teams out there with very similar to teams this year. Hey, Karen, how are you? Nice to see you in the morning instead of the evening. Your team is the dudes, no trades planned. Flex is McAndrew, was planning to get Sherry, but not after his last poor performance. I think that's fair. Karen. We need to go through leagues, rivals. Have I already set you up as a rival? Why can't I see all my rivalries? This would be you. We'll add you so we can save time next time. You got Noble, Karen. Nice. How long ago did you get him? What a pick. Smashing it out. 152, top score. Like, very, very nice, Karen. Sinclair, Dale, Sarong. Sarong is killing it too. Lindsay, Dirksen, HK, Lindsay, and Perez. As we said, Lindsay might come back this week, which would be good for you. Heaney, Butters, Bont, Anderson, LDU, Neil, Dersma, Murdoch. Cumming, Ison, and Banfield. Cumming could make you some more money, which will be nice. Break even of 11. Grundy, Gorn, Sheasel, Petrarca, Williams, Bailey, Smith, Roby, another very good pick. Trelaw, flex is McAndrew. That's reasonable. He's scoring pretty well. Like you see, he's probably scoring more than Grundy at the moment. Yeah, you're in a pretty good position. Your forward line looks really good. You got, I think, Smith and Roby are doing fine. Plus, you got Trelaw. You can do a loophole every week if you like with these two, or take one up when the time is right. You got Murdoch there as well to do a bit of swapping and going on. You can, at any time, you can move maybe Dersma up to a Super Primo. You got Noble last round. He's been doing really good, and he's a nice point of difference. So I endorse that. I think, if he goes big like he did, you got him the right round, 150. It's beautiful. Look at, he's been scoring like an absolute maniac. Since round 7, 99, 132, 129, 161, 84, and 152. Most expensive defender in the game, and must be the highest 5-round average. 131 must be one of the highest 5-round average in the game. McCarthy possibly out. Whoa. Where'd you hear that, Michael? I was actually looking at McCarthy as a valid, as a valid choice. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Hamstring awareness. Well, people should be more aware of their hamstrings. If you're not aware of your hamstring, then you've got problems. No, I think, don't want to risk him. So if he does, just drop him out. But if he does go out and Lindsay comes in, could I be tempted to hold Lindsay for a week? Means I miss out on Ash at his price, but we might have a look at my trades and just to have a think about what I might do if that's the situation. Hey, Freaky Flute, do you venture to any band camps? Oh, if you're a little bit older like me, you might get that reference. Hey, Seano, been listening as you do chores. Yeah, that's cool. I don't mind if you're a bit of a lurker out there, as long as you like and lurk. As long as you like and lurk, I'm very happy. AFL website says Tom McCarthy in doubt with hamstring tightness. I heard something about you mentioning whether Lindsay comes back in. Yeah, well, I'd assume he comes straight back in if McCarthy is out. Yep. Half your team is out in round 15, Karen. Yeah, mine too. In round 15, the next round, really? All right, so we've got wrong one. Is you stay here, you go over here. You go over here where I can see you, and you come back. There we go. So Brisbane, you got Lockie Neal and Zach Bailey. That's 2. Essendon, you got Roby. I guess we'll count him as a primo. No, he's not really though. But you got Heaney, that's 5. You got Grundy, that's 6. You got Bont, that's 7. You got Dale, that's 8. Oh no, that's round 16. No. So let's go back again. Let's go back and then 1, 2, Essendon 3, 4, 5, 6 with Sarong, 7, 8 with the Eagles. Okay, yeah, so you do have a lot next round. They're not all primos, but yeah, you got a lot. I think, yeah, maybe it would be a time, Karen, to lessen your burden. To maybe it's time that Dersma goes up. Maybe it's time you can jump from a Dersma to a primo, or maybe, you know, if Lindsay isn't playing, you know, maybe it's time for him to go as well. You're 58, you definitely get the reference then, Freaky. I'm not. You got a few years on me, but not too many for me to bring it up. You're tanking round 15. That's fine, Karen. Like I said, I know people in my league. I've been pretty lucky in my league matches so far. Sorry, itchy nose. My round 12 league guy tanked on purpose. He's a good friend of mine, so I know he tanked on purpose because I talked to him about it. I was like, "Oh, you got your entire team out." He's like, "I try to win 4 out of 5." He said, "I want to win 4 out of 5 buys and win our league." And so I'm tanking round 12, and then you had a million round 12 players. You're going to cover him for the rest of the buys, which is nice. Sometimes it can be a better theory. If you want to win your leagues, sometimes it's better than if you're nice and even across, all your buys, you can lose them all if you're a bit unlucky. Whereas if you tank a buy and then, you don't care about your overall score, you can literally set yourself up that, you're really in a good position to beat all the other people and they have to get lucky. The people who are going more for overall rank, you can really, sock it to them. But I think that's fine. I think it's fine. How am I doing? I'm a bit rough this round, like we counted. I might only have 19 this round, but next round I'm looking pretty good. I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll have a full 22 to 23 on the field playing, I would think. Edwards won't be here, but I could put the pod there, and then Durham can go up here, and I'll get on some of these guys. So I'm pretty sure I'll have 22 or 23 playing next round, and then round 16, I'm missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 primos, which I think might be less than a lot of people. Honestly, I don't like missing 6, but I think it might be a lot less than a lot less than some people. Yeah, not very happy with my team crew. Just when I look at, like, we just looked at all your amazing teams out there, and thank you so much for putting them in Discord and letting me show them up on the screen. Just this whole, when it comes out of the buys, like, look at my midfield. Look how disgusting my midfield looks. Butters Bont, fine. Dacos, fine. Raul, I had to get him because he was cheap. We were worried, and he showed us why we should be worried at 74. We really wish we could have afforded a Noah Anderson or a Dawson here. But no, we had to go cheap, and we got punished. Finn Callahan, I think, will be okay, but he can go up and down if he gets tagged. And Walsh is just a pain in the backside, to be honest. So why I'm looking at everybody, all your amazing midfielders that have Heaney and, Heaney and Baz here sitting up the top there in these 2 spots. And I've got Murdoch and HK. I've got 2 rookies, which is, pretty much disgusting. So next week, like I said, next week what we do is we bring Murdoch down here. I'm calling that a completed forward line, as sad as that is. We get Jackson back here. When we come out of the buys, this is what we will look like. Now we get Jackson here. So that's completed. Flex is sorted. Rucks is sorted. Midfield's disgusting. Back line is sorted. We got Sinclair, Holmes, Ash, Wilkie, Clark, and Dacos. And then the difference between me and the teams are going to make, up spots is that I don't think my midfields are capable of all smacking a 150 on any particular day when a lot of those other midfielders we looked at, midfields we looked at today are, which is a bit of a reminder for next year that that's what pretty much I want. And I was in two minds because the midfield rookies usually score the best, but the midfield guns also normally score the best. So it still probably would be better if I forward line looked like this, and I would just pod him and just put up with pod there, and he gets a 40 or whatever, and that's might be the score that gets dropped out. And Murdoch is up here, Murdoch is up here, but instead of Murdoch, there's, where we have Murdoch and Rashenko here. By the end of the season, this could happen, for me. Murdoch, I get him up to the best possible midfielder I can, potentially a Heaney or a Baz or whoever I want. After, I might go a little bit different to some other people. I'm thinking potentially Ed Richards after a 16 bye, but it means with 6 trades, I'll have to come up with 200K somehow with only 6 trades left. And Rashenko potentially, again, get him up to whoever. So whether that's actually going to be possible or not, I don't think it will be. Freaky, you say you have a rank of 2,328. Team is very ordinary. 10 trades, 2K in the 3 upgrades to go. No cash gen. If only you went Cook and Watkins. Also traded in Scary and 2 trades killed me. I'll show you. I actually did a spreadsheet. If you had watched I did my mid-season video, mid-season review. If you haven't watched that, you can go back and check it out. But I'll give you a quick show you the spreadsheet that I did now. But also, if you haven't watched the 2 videos that I already did this week, my review and my trades and captains video, if you could go back and like those, even if you're not going to watch them, and that would help me a lot. And if you want to watch them, please watch them. So what we did, where is it? Supercoach plan for 2027. Just make sure you guys can see this. So here are my trade mistakes. Maybe I'll make it a little bit bigger. So trade mistakes. There's a lot of them. Look at them. So 12 total injury trades I've had, and I know a lot of us have been hit with these going on. I think I've been hit with more than most, but not as many as some. Like, so Goulden, that was 1 trade. Young was 1 trade. Rosie was 1 trade. Petrarca, it's 2 trades. We traded him out. We traded him back in. I think I've spelled his name wrong there. Sherry was 2 trades. We traded him in, and then he got suspended. We traded him out. Myers, we traded him in, and he got injured, and we traded him out. And McCluggage, we traded him in, and then we traded him out. And then Anderson, we traded him in, out when we shouldn't. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 12 injury trades, and then just bad trades and holds, which are, sorry. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to, where are you? Where'd you go? Oh, you're miles over here. I wanted to do that to make sure I'm missing not any of you guys talking to me in chat. Yeah, so they're injury trades, which honestly I shouldn't have gone. I mean, we went McCluggage, it was a risk and it did not pay out. Myers at the time I thought it was a good pick, but I think I didn't have enough information on him. He turned out, even if he hadn't got injured, he still wouldn't have turned out to be the player I wanted him to. Petrarca. Rose, we couldn't do anything about Goulden. He was a good pick. Young, I think Young was a mistake. We shouldn't have picked Young after seeing that he had that issue pre-season. Rosie couldn't do anything about it. Petrarca couldn't even do anything about it. Sherry, was pretty unlucky. Should we have kept him? I mean, in hindsight, it was fine to trade him. We've seen what he's done since he'd come back. But for the amount of trades I have, maybe we should have kept him. Myers was a mistake. Like, McCluggage was a mistake. And getting rid of Noah Anderson, and now I think he's going to be a top 8 midfielder, was a mistake, not holding him. So bad trades, hold too early or expensive fake. So Sardis, got rid of him too early, even though we kept him for like 4 weeks and got rid of him, and then he came back like a week or two later. Parrish, we got rid of him too early. Could have saved a trade there and made quite a bit more money. Lombard, we got rid of him too early. What do you think? We got rid of him when he was 210k, and he's up to almost 300k at the moment. He's been scoring okay. Jagger Smith's almost made another 100k, so we got rid of him too early. Bont, we paid 700k for Bont. Too much. Got down to like in the mid 500s. Gorn, we paid 700k for Gorn. Too much. Again, he's down in the 500s or around 600. Grundy, we paid 685k for him, and he's going to be close to he's going to be right down there as well now soon. Houston was a fake primo that we got sucked into. Jordan Clark was a bad pick. Hugh McCluggage was another fake primo. Josh Staples another fake primo, and Sam Walsh is a fake primo. So that's pretty much how I destroyed my team this year. And Karen, Freaky, just like you said, I did not get Cook. I missed Cook, so there's 200k that I missed. I did not get William Dersma, which is another 200k I missed. So that's 400k I've missed. Plus my team value keeps dropping because all of these players are just plummeting in price. Like, all these guys I paid 700k for are now 550k. That's almost another. That's one primo. I'm missing one primo because I paid up for these guys, and everybody else had him in their team and they were getting them 150s. And as soon as I got them, they can't get a 150 to save their life. So it's been a pretty rough season for the old Seano, and the overall score reflects it. Probably my worst season ever, but at least I've got you guys and girls here to hang out with me and make it not so painful. And also, I've still got my leagues. I'm still with my league. As you can see, if you go back and watch that video, I went to the forwards, the rucks, the mids, and the defenders that I should be targeting next year. I made a list of them, and I also made this little team structure thing that how am I going to pick my team, next year. We won't go into that. You can go back and watch that video, and then my notes on the rules, my rules for next year too. My rules for next year. Thinking Dev Robert out to Goulden when he's back. Probably a few 99k after their buys if they play. Fitz Herbert Franco. Yep, I think that seems fine. I think Goulden will be a nice pod. A lot of people will have their midfields full, and I think getting Goulden in could be a good thing. I loved him at the beginning of the season. I really liked having him until he got injured, obviously, but he looked really good pre-season and the season. Freaky Nanda was a 50-50 call, especially with the up to 3 weeks out. Traded him as well. Parrish was so awful I couldn't watch him, so he had to go. Yeah, I'm the same, Freaky, but you know what? I think actually being a content creator has had an adverse effect on my Supercoach scoring. This is my second year. Last year I did pretty good. We finished in 7,000, and we were quite a bit higher than that at stages. But last year I ran out of trades for the first time ever. I think usually, even when we had less trades, when it got to the finals of the Supercoach finals, like the last 4 rounds, I would almost always have at least one trade for the last game. Very close to it. Coming into those last 4 games, I would normally have at least 4 trades. Last year was the first year, I think I only had 3. And then I think in the grand final game, even though it was all over by then, I think I only had, I didn't have a trade for that game. I think I'm a little bit more trade happy being a content creator, and I think I need to control myself next year. And the people like Parrish and Noah, one of those rules I wrote down, if it's 3 weeks, and if it's especially if it's like a 3-week suspension, like the Sherry one should have been a hold. Now I know in hindsight it didn't really work out for the people that held, but in the future you have to hold that. You just have to hold. He's coming back. He's only suspended. He's not injured. It's different if it's a soft calf injury or something. And Noah Anderson, we didn't believe him. They said he's going to be fine. He might only be out for a week. And I was like, nah. Appendix, he'll be out for ages. And then he came back after the week. So I think with those ones next year, we just have to hold. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But the trades you save from holding are too valuable not to do it. Yeah, but have been pretty unlucky this year. Things like the trading the Sherry in and the Sherry back out again, and the Petrarca in the Petrarca back out again. Yeah, it's been a pretty rough year. Yeah, Freaky, I've also been playing since the start, and this is not only did the new rules and the early buys really, affected the way we thought about the game, and then the injuries I've never had 12 injuries like at this time, only just past the half season, and with 12 pretty much serious, injury trades. Like at this time, it's just unheard of. I mean, you'd probably half that in most years to, players like where you're forced to absolutely must trades, the Gouldens and the Rosies and stuff of the world, and so many of them early, like, it just, don't think it's happened ever before. You ran out of trades, had Erasmus, admin Sheldricks in your finished team, and I've said, yeah, I think I had McCarthy. I had a pretty good team last year, but I had McCarthy as my flex, which was killing it, and I was quite happy to do that. And this year, well, it's going to have to be the same this year, and we just pray that a McCarthy type player comes along. I really hope Melbourne plays this Fitzgerald guy, and he performs well enough to knock one of their other guys they're going to playing in the midfield there at the moment out of the rotations, and that's going to be the my equivalent of my flex or my you know this position here. Let's While I've got you guys here, so if we undo the trades, what happens if Lindsay comes in and McCarthy is out? So we say we want to keep Lindsay this week. It means we miss out on Ash. Ash is a very good value. I think Ash could go back to scoring his 120s, 130s, 100 to like 120 pretty regularly with that back roll back. Philippou has to go. Durham comes in for Philippou. Oh, yep. So that's happening. That's going to happen no matter what. Philippou, get out of my team, Poo. Get the poo out of my team before I step in it. And it'd be all like on my shoes and shit, and we all hate it when that happens. Nobody likes it when they get poo on their shoes. Um, so there's the forward line. We got Lindsay back there. Hamstring awareness is probably 1 week, and then he has his bye next week. So I could still get rid of him next week, but that means I'd be coming down to 4 trades. But say we still, so Durham's there. We're still going to get rid of Anderson. Anderson's got no money to make. He's got a break even at 63. He's been getting 40s every week. So we still get rid of Anderson, and we move up Banfield and get the pod. Still get the pod in, which maximizes the amount of money that we can have. Now, if Joel Fitzgerald, like we talked about, if Joel Fitzgerald or Jackson Artemis are named, I will work out a way. The Jackson Artemis one will be a bit trickier, but I will just straight up Anderson for Joel Fitzgerald, even though it's his first week if he's played, and we'll wait to get pod next week. So this gives me 234K in the bank, where I could potentially go. We're keeping Lindsay. We could potentially go. We could keep that money till next week, is one option, which is probably what my best option would be. Or we could go Rashenko up to a 520K player. Players I can afford. Don't want anyone coming into their buy in this position, though. So Lockie Neal could be good, but he's got a buy next week, so no. Let's do the buy thing. Let's do the buy. So nope, nope, and nope. So I could afford Luke Parker. Don't want Luke Parker. Can't afford Clayton Oliver. Can't afford LDU. I could get a sneaky Tim Taranto. So I think the question for me is, do I want Ash or wait 1 week? Rashenko goes up another 10K or so. Then I would have, an extra, probably could get some of those slightly more expensive mids. So the big question is, do I want Ash? Because Ash will go up. Ash has a fairly low break even, but Whitfield has a huge break even, so Whitfield might come down. So I could get either one, right? I think I prefer Ash to Whitfield. So I don't know why. I just have this feeling. That he can get back to these early scores of 130, 130, 100, 100 in that back roll. But this week he has a break even of 94. So he's not going to go up that much. He's not going to go up that much. So maybe I can wait a week, and that saves me a trade this week too, just to look and see what's going on. Let's say he just gets a flat 105. Let's give him a 110. Let's give him a good score. Give him a 110. He goes up 6K. So that's nothing to be too worried about. The question is, Lindsay's got 112 break even. So say Lindsay comes in and we'll give Lindsay an 80. He's going to lose 7K. So it's about a 12K turnaround I'm going to lose by doing it that way. Hey, Brad, how are you? Nice to see you, buddy. Your team's going all right, Brad, even though, you've been, you're telling me you had 1 million trades and 20 million boosts left, and your team's going along very nicely. So well done on, that. Here, Brad is in my league. He's a good friend of mine. I could trade Ash via Holmes. Like that, you say, my friend. Like that, just like that, you say. Me and Brad, I think you would already know because you're a smart man. We play each other in round 16 in our league. I think you're going to pants me, but we will see what happens. We both have a lot of players out in that game. That actually looks okay, Freaky. I don't mind the look of that. Burnt in previous years, Karen. He's potentially a good scorer. He was the number 1 defender last year with 1 injury score out, but I'm thinking that as well, Karen. One of those those lists of things to do. Some of these more injury prone players, and older players like the Zorkos and the Whitfields of the world, I think I'll just pick the younger guys, even though they might not score as well. But maybe next year instead of picking Whitfield, I pick Ash, and instead of picking Zorko, you pick Blakey. And the same goes for all the others as well. Whether it be a midfielder or even in the rucks is one too. Next year, instead of Grawn and Grundy, the 2 30-year-olds that need a rest, the 2 old men that need a rest, maybe you go Jackson and Sherry, the 2 younger guys, and maybe you just hope that they have they can keep up with the scoring and the fact they're not going to be rested. Like, you don't see any point, in especially why Jackson's playing the dual ruck and stuff. I can't see them resting Jackson, even if Freo at number 1, on the ladder and miles ahead. And the same Sherry, I don't think he'll be rested for any reason. He's still in his 20s or whatever. So, freaky. I actually kind of like the look of that. So the only problem with that is, so how does the team look when we come out of the buys? Forward line is fine. We've got the 3 big rucks. These 3 big rucks are pissing me off. I paid so much money for them all, and I have not got the benefit. I paid up because everybody else was getting huge round scores with these 3 guys in the team. As soon as I get the 3 of them in the team, they either play dual rucks, shit the bed, get do dumb shit like Sherry had, when I had him. Yeah, it's just like so painful. Then I'd have 6 trades and only 18k in the bank. The only issue that I have with this Freaky, even though I kind of like the way it looks, is Rashenko will make money this week, and Lindsay will possibly not make money. He's pretty likely to go down in money, and then I still need another primo to have 22 primos, including people like Clark and Murdoch and Duran as primos. So in theory, who could I get the most money off if I go down 99k the week after? I could only get myself 130k from Edwards if I went Artemis. So it means I get a less than 500k I've got to spend on a potential defender. Or we go HK to the back. He's got the most money. Will Edwards? This Edwards too. Banfield, sell him. Sell this Edwards. Move Banfield down and get Joel Fitzgerald here. So at best, I'm getting a 500k player next week for the back line. Is there anyone at 500k that I really want? Brad, it will be close. Yes, round 16 will be close, but I think you've got the cattle to get it done. Unfortunately, the cattle that you've got, which makes your team so much better than mine, a few of them will have their buys, I think, which might give me a chance. Yeah, but the thing is, I want a premium for my next trade. Freaky has to be Lindsay to a premium to get 22. I need 22 guys who can score for me to have a chance at winning my league. And the way I look at it, maybe these two, maybe they've got the best chance of scoring. Maybe I can live with his scores for a few weeks. But if McCarthy comes back, we're desperately going to need to do something. And worst case scenario, he comes in and he gets if he gets a 50, if he comes in and gets a 50, he's going to lose 25k, and that's a lot. That's a lot. I do really like Ash too. I do really like Ash. Sorry, we've got Ash there. So yeah, so we sell Lindsay, we move HK back, we move Holmes back there, and HK comes back here. So then we've still got two mids here. So it'll work out to be the same. The difference between doing it this week and next week is that I lose money. So I think it's better to do it the other way. To be honest, I think it's just better to do it the other way. And you know what? Rashenko can score. We're all right. I think in Richmond, I think they like Rashenko. I think they play him through the middle. I think he scores better, and he provides me coverage if I do want to keep him for the rest of the round, where Lindsay has a bye next week anyway. I think the other way is better. I think the other way just makes more sense. So we'll do it the other way. But thank you for pointing out how it can be done. Yeah, thank you. I'm so desperate for money. Seano is so desperate for the money. He's such a cheapskate. He needs the money. Anyway, crew, I think that's enough for today. Seano's going to go and get himself some lunch and get organised. As usual, if you haven't already liked, now is the time to like. Please do it now before we go any further, and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. These are my favourite videos of the week where I get to hang out with all you amazing crew. Next Thursday, the live video will be on straight after the footy in the evening, so keep an eye out for that one. I hope you can all join me. And yeah, and as usual, like, subscribe and leave me a comment down below if you're watching in the future with how you're going. And we will, as we normally do, we're going to go through and say goodbye to everybody. And then I don't know if you guys have been watching my other videos. Have you seen, we can play it while I go through the, maybe I can, intro and outros, the new YouTube ending. This is me, younger me. This is a younger me in Peru, going to Machu Picchu. If you know where Machu Picchu is, on my trek to Machu Picchu. So while we're going to go through the names, we're going to give special thanks to the Seano crew. So thank you, Karen, for being here. Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Kristen. Hi, Kristen. Thank you. Nice. I didn't catch you there, but I looked up your record. Kristen is a bit of a AFLW gun, or VFL, women's VFL gun. So she has some very impressive football stats. So well done. You know, it looks like you were an absolute gun. Probably a Supercoach gun coming as well. I was going to say coming in the future, but you probably are already. Freaky, thanks for being here. Karen, thanks for being here. Brad, good to see you, mate. Michael, West Coast Eagles, nice to see you. We'll do it again. Darren Phillips, good to see you, buddy. BP McHale's, good to see you. It's Mano, nice to see you, Mano. Anguish, good to see you. Lanzi, nice to see you. Thank you for everyone who put in their team this week, and we showed it up on the screen. David Hicks, we can leave this on here. Yep. So that was awesome. I think we forgot to tell people to join the Discord, but thank you so much, everyone. You need a Supercoach GoFundMe fund. I need one too, so I can start drinking to forget about my Supercoach. If Neil goes to Collingwood, he won't be in your team next year, Karen. You're disowning him if he goes to Collingwood. Be interesting. Have a great day. You have a great too, Freaky. Kristen, you have a great day. Thank you. Brad, I'll see you, mate. Have a great weekend of footy. You too, Karen. All right, thanks, everybody, and I hope everybody has an awesome day.